Regardless of where they went, time and time again, the Jews would be accused of the same ritual crimes. 418 AD. Baronius reports the crucifixion of a boy by the Jews at between Aleppo and Antioch. 419 AD. In the Syrian district of Imnestar, between Chalcis and Antioch, the Jews tied a boy to a cross on a holiday and flogged him to death. 425 AD. Baronius reports the crucifixion of a boy. 614 AD. After the conquest of Jerusalem, the Jews purchased for a small amount of money 90,000 prisoners from the Persian king Chosroes II and murdered them all in the most disgusting of ways. 1071 AD. Several Jews from Blois crucified a child during the Easter celebration, put his body into a sack and threw it into the Loire. Count Theobald had the guilty ones burned alive. 1144 AD. In Norwich, during Passover, 12-year-old Saint William was tied by the local Jews, hanged from a cross, and his blood drained from a wound in his side. The Jews hid the corpse in the nearby woods. They were surprised by a local citizen, Ilridus, who was bribed with money to keep quiet. Despite this, the crime still became notorious. 1160 AD. The Jews of Gloucester crucified a child. 1179 AD. In Pontoise, March 25th, before the Passover, the Jews butchered and drained St. Richard's body of blood. Due to this, the Jews were expelled from France. 1181 AD. In London, around Easter, near the Church of St. Edmund, the Jews murdered a child by the name of Rortus. 1181 AD. In Saragossa, the Jews murdered a child named Domenico. 1191 AD. The Jews of Brezum crucified a Gentile who had accused them of robbery and murder, after they had previously dragged him through the town. Due to this, King Philip Augustus, who had personally come to Brezum, burned 80 of them. 1220 AD. In Weissenburg, in Alsace, on the 29th of June, the Jews murdered a boy, Saint Heinrich. 1225 AD. In Munich, a woman enticed by Jewish gold stole a small child from her neighbor. The Jews drained the blood from the child. Caught in her second attempt, the criminal was handed over to the courts. 1235 AD. The Jews committed the same crime on December the 1st in Erfurt. 1236 AD. In Hagenau in Alsace, 3 boys from the region of Fulda were attacked by the Jews in a mill during the night and killed in order to obtain their blood. 1239 AD. A general uprising in London because of a murder committed secretly by the Jews. 1240 AD. In Norwich, the Jews circumcised a Gentile child and kept him hidden in the ghetto in order to crucify him later. After a long search, the father found his child and reported it to the Bishop Wilhelm of Rhett. 1244 AD. In St. Benedict's churchyard in London, the corpse of a boy was found which bore cuts and scratches, and in several places Hebrew characters. He had been tortured and killed, and his blood had been drained. Baptized Jews, forced to interpret the Hebrew signs, found the name of the child's parents and read that the child had been sold to the Jews when it was very young. Distinguished Jews left the city in secret. 1250 AD. The Jews of Saragossa adopted the horrible dogma that everyone who delivered a child for sacrifice would be freed from all taxes and debts. In June 1250, Moses Albe Hutzet, also called Albe Giusetto, delivered the 7-year-old Domenico del Val to the Jews for crucifixion. 1255 AD. At Lincoln, in England, on Peter and Paul's Day, 8-year-old St. Hugh was stolen by the local Jews, hidden, and later crucified. The Jews beat him with rods for so long that he almost lost all his blood. 1257 AD. So that they could commit their annual sacrifice, the Jews of London butchered a child. 1260 AD. The Jews of Weissenburg killed a child. 1261 AD. In Pforzheim, a 7-year-old girl who had been delivered to the Jews was laid on a linen cloth and stabbed on her limbs in order to soak the cloth with blood. Afterwards, the corpse was thrown into the river. 1279 AD. The most respectable Jews of London crucified a child on April the 2nd. 1279 AD,